Hello everyone, welcome to Learn the Strategy with Alfa-PTE.com. In this video, we'll be explaining the structures for summarized spoken text. The structures are divided according to your requirement. So if you need 8, you have a different structure. If you need 7, you have a different structure. And if you need 6, you have a different structure. So the below structure can be used for both positive and negative audios for achieving 8 or 79 each. The structure is divided into 3 parts. The first part is the introduction, wherein you say the talk is about. And if you're using the talk is about, then after the talk is about, you have to use a noun or a noun phrase. Okay? After the talk is about, you either use a noun or a noun phrase. Okay? So you can either say the talk is about a person or a variety of individuals. Okay? For example, you can say the talk is about Mary Mellon or the typhoid fever. Okay, so after the talk is about, you have to straight away talk about the topic. You do not have any other option. So if you want to discuss about the title, then you can go with the talk is about. Or if you want to discuss how something is happening or why something is happening, then you have to use the talk delineates. The talk delineates will go with how or why. So for the talk is about, you use a noun or a noun phrase. For the talk delineates, you use how or why. Okay, so simply you will write the talk is about Mary Mellon spreading typhoid, or the talk delineates how Mary Mellon is spreading typhoid fever. So that's basically how you have to introduce. Your introduction is a very important part of your summary. So try to write as much information as possible, but write correct information. You cannot use both the talk is about or delineates. You can either use the talk is about and then you add 20 to 25 words, or you write the talk delineates and then you add 20 to 25 words in your introduction. So these are both really important words and structures, or it's really important to understand how you need to use them. So after this, I'm going to play an audio and I'm going to show you how I can use one of them. So that's it, guys. So if you use the talk is about, you need to write the topic. The talk is about somebody or something. For talk delineates, WH word, why or how. Okay, and then you add your content. You do not have to divide it into 3 different sentences. This is just for your understanding. You have to write it like one single paragraph. In the second part, then you say the speaker also talked about, and then you add some extra words. Third line, you say hence, comma, and then you add another 10 to 15 words. Remember, your word limit has to be within 50 to 70 words. So take good amount of content when you practice this particular question. Again, to sum up, you can either use in A, talk is about, or B, the talk delineates, any one. If you're using the talk is about, then you have to explain the topic. If you're using talk delineates, then you can either use why or how to continue. Okay, moving on. For 7, the below structure can be used again for both positive and negative audios. It doesn't matter what kind of audio comes, you can use the same structure. The same rule applies. The talk is about, topic, or the talk delineates, WH word, how or why. Here you don't need to write too many words, just 15 to 20 words will be enough to get your score, that is 7 each or 65 in each. Then after that, second part is also quite fixed. It is by observing. Here you need to write just another piece of topic. It is by observing people of India, it is by observing people of Australia, it is by observing the coronavirus, it is by observing the pandemic, it is by observing essay structure, listening summary structure, summarized spoken text structure. That, so just to rephrase the topic in 1 to 2 words, that the academics not only realized its gravity but also gauged its magnitude. So this is just to take care of your word limit, because a lot of times people do not have a lot of information. You can still get 7 with a few notes, but you still have to take care of your word limit. So that's why there is this fixed structure that says when you look at the topic, the academics realize that it's important and they measured its magnitude. Okay, then again, hence, comma, you add 10 to 15 words in your conclusion. So if I take the topic of, for example, exercise, then I will say for 8, the talk is about exercise, and a lot of people exercise on a daily basis to stay fit and healthy and blah blah blah. The speaker also talked about different types of exercises, and then I give examples. Hence, it is really important to work out to stay fit and healthy and protect oneself from different diseases. So that's how we use for 8. If I put it in 7, the talk is about exercise and the different types of exercises that people uh, do every day. It is by observing exercises like 1, 2, 3. Then hence, it is really important to work out and stay fit and healthy. So 10 to 15 words. That's how you put. Let's go to the next structure for 6 and less. If you need 50 or less, you just have to memorize the fixed structure for positive and negative audio, and you just have to fix it. Now, the positive audio. The talk delineates a positive picture regarding topic. Here, you don't need to write 10 to 15 words, just 3 to 5 words, whatever you can get from the topic. When you take notes, just take a chunk and put it here. For example, the talk delineates a positive picture regarding different types of exercises. That's enough. You don't have to worry about anything else to get 6. It is by observing the aforementioned trend. Aforementioned trend means the above given topic, that the academics have not only realized its gravity but also gauged the magnitude of its relevance when it comes to today's ever-changing lifestyle. So here you're just trying to say that when the researchers tried to observe the topic, they saw that the topic is really relevant and it's important for our lifestyle. Okay, hence the role of this observation in shedding insight in regards to, again you can put one thing in shedding insight in regards to exercising regularly, working out, like something like that, is instrumental. Instrumental means beneficial. Okay, so that's how you are supposed to do. Now, when it comes to negative audio, basically the same thing. You just have a few changes. Let me highlight the changes. Even in negative audio, you will just put the topic. The talk is about, or the talk delineates a pessimistic approach towards topic. For example, a Mary Melon. Mary Melon. The talk delineates a pessimistic approach towards Mary Melon or typhoid fever or farmers committing suicide. So, positive picture for positive, pessimistic for negative. 90% of the time you have positive audio, most of the time. Okay, then again the second part is fixed. The only thing is here it's relevance, here it's repercussions. That's the only change. Hence the role of this observation, hence the impact of this observation in regards to topic is instrumental on vital aspects of topic is far-reaching. So these are a few changes, but most of the time it will always be a positive audio, most of the time. So you don't have to worry so much. So again, everything is fixed. Hence, the impact of this observation on vital aspects of one thing. If you're not able to understand what noun phrase you can put, just say people's life, okay, or students' life if it's related to students, is far-reaching. All good? Okay, so let's move on and let's do an example so that you understand it better. So I'm going to play the example audio and let's take down some good amount of notes. Ready?
So, we were founded just over 10 years ago, when I was at the Royal Academy, a museum in the center of London, with my 3 children, at the Aztec exhibition. I don't know if any of you saw it. I had an older child and 2 younger children, twins, strapped in a pushchair, and one of my children, 3 years old, shouted, and I've never denied he shouted, "Monster, monster." At this statue, which looked just like a monster, had snakes for hair, a big beak for a nose. And I thought, this is fantastic. I've got a 3-year-old that's appreciating art. How good can it get? So, I bent down and I said, yes, it looks just like a monster, and, at that moment, a room warden came over, a gallery assistant came over and said we were being too noisy, and threw us out to the wrong family. I was, at that time, a journalist with the Guardian newspaper, and 2 days later wrote a big piece in the Guardian, about being thrown out of the Royal Academy. What was really interesting was, by the end of that day, we had, at the paper, over 500 emails from other families saying, museums aren't working for us. Let's try and make it work. So, that's what we did. In the Guardian, we set up a campaign. We called it the Kids in Museums campaign, but it didn't really exist. It was just a few pages. We ran loads of stories on it. I began touring the country talking about how to make your museum family friendly.
Okay, so that was our audio. Let's have a look at the notes. This is what I could note down. So I used shorthand when I wrote it down, but I made it quite really fair when I put it here so that all of you can understand. So I normally use my shorthand, so I just said the RYL, ACD for Royal Academy, MUS for museum, LND for London. So I use shorthands. 3, I didn't write 3, I just wrote number 3. And I write kids for children, but I know that kids is informal, so I have to move and shift it to children. So that's the shorthand that I wrote. I wrote room warden, gallery assistant came over together. I didn't write came over again and again. Throughout, that's was my note. Journalist, I didn't write the full spelling, I just write JRNLST, journalist. Guardian newspaper, the GRDNS newspaper. Then wrote a big piece. So I took all of them, but not completely. I took shorthand. So that's what is convenient for me. So if you are good with shorthand, you can use that, but I have written it like this so that it's clear. So this was the content that I took. Obviously you cannot take everything. She was saying a lot of things that there was a statue with hair and snakes and my kids were shouting monster, monster, but because I was busy in writing this entire thing, I missed that. The next thing that I heard was this, so I made a note of this. And then after that, she told the same thing continuously. So I wrote this and this. Then 500 emails. I just wrote 500 emails families. This is just to keep it easy. And then there were a lot of things that the director called us and this and that. But because I heard this, I was busy in writing this. So basically, I'm trying to tell you that you cannot write each and everything in notes. You have to miss a lot of things. It's okay. Try. You don't even need to try to write down everything, because it's practically not possible to fit everything within 50 to 70 words. And although I have these many notes, but I don't think I will be able to fit all of them in my summary, because they will go beyond 70 words and I'll get a penalty. and there's no need for me to do that. Okay, so that's how I took notes. Let's look at the example answers. The talk is about Royal Academy, a museum in the center of London, where a mother with her 3 children visited the Aztec exhibition. The speaker also mentioned how a room warden and a gallery assistant threw them out. So I'm just connecting my notes. Hence, she wrote a big piece in The Guardian about being thrown out of the Royal Academy and set up a campaign called the Kids in the Museum campaign. So basically, if I go back, I didn't put anything about a journalist. I didn't put about throw 500 emails. Okay, in The Guardian we set up a campaign, so I just combined my notes. So what I did is, first I roughly made a summary and then I just typed it. That's what you're supposed to do. Do not jump directly, just make a summary and then go and type it down. So the word limit, I wrote around 68 words. That's more than enough. Let's look at 7. The talk is about the Royal Academy Museum in the center of London, where a mother with her 3 children visited the Aztec exhibition. I picked the exact same thing. It is by observing a journalist with Guardian newspaper and the Royal Academy that the academics, I can pick any one, but because my word count was allowing me to pick 2 topics, I put 2 topics with Anne. That the academics not only realize its gravity but also gauge its magnitude. Hence, she started a campaign called the Kids in the Museum campaign. That's it, pretty simple and straightforward. It all depends on your notes, guys. And see, I am not using any difficult sentences. I'm using simple sentences because I need to know what I've written is right or wrong. Moving on to 6 and less, because it is a negative audio. It's pretty simple. The talk delineates a pessimistic approach towards the Royal Academy, a museum in center of London. That's it. Everything is fixed. Hence, the impact of this observation on vital aspects of families with children is far-reaching indeed. So it was around 58. The word limit was around 58, but it's okay. It's beyond 50, and this is more than enough for me to get 6 in each, or 5.5, or whatever is your score. So if it's 6 and less, it's enough. I don't need to write anything more than this. So that's basically how you do your summarized spoken text, guys. Again, it's really important to take good notes, especially if you are aiming for 8. For 6, just take whatever you can. Just try to take 1 or 2 phrases and 1 or 2 words. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to fix. Other than that, you should be okay with that. Just make sure you do not make any spelling mistakes. Okay, all good. So that's for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Follow our Facebook page for regular updates and join our Telegram group for a free assessment. Thank you.